What if the thing you do to relax after a long day, the thing you consider just for fun, is already earning money for someone else, just not for you? Most people think income only comes from serious decisions. Degrees, job titles, offices, fixed schedules. But many earning stories don't begin with a bold move at all. They begin quietly with hobbies people never planned to turn into anything more. This isn't about quitting your job, taking risks, or turning your life upside down. It's about understanding how value works in the modern world, and why certain activities, once dismissed as time wasters, now quietly generate income. For decades, income followed a predictable structure. You exchanged time for money in a specific place, during specific hours. Hobbies were separate. They were what you did when work was finished, not something connected to earning. But that separation has been breaking down, not because people are working harder, but because the way value is created has changed. Today, value doesn't only come from effort or difficulty. It often comes from reducing friction, saving time, simplifying decisions, removing stress, and surprisingly, many hobbies already do exactly that. Think about this for a moment. Why would someone pay for something you enjoy doing for free? Usually, it's because what feels natural to you feels exhausting to someone else. What feels obvious to you feels confusing to them. And what feels enjoyable to you feels like a burden they'd rather avoid. That difference between ease and resistance is where value lives. Take organizing as an example. Some people genuinely enjoy putting things in order. They like arranging files, sorting photos, clearing inboxes, structuring spaces, and labeling systems. To them, it's calming, almost therapeutic. To others, it's overwhelming, creates anxiety. They don't know where to start, and the mess keeps growing. The hobby here isn't about being neat. It's about creating clarity. And clarity is something people are willing to pay for when their lives feel chaotic. Now think about people who enjoy explaining things. They're the ones friends go to when something doesn't make sense. They're good at breaking ideas down, giving examples, and making complex topics feel less intimidating. This isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about communication. And communication is valuable because confusion is expensive. When people don't understand something, they waste time, make mistakes, or avoid action entirely. Someone who enjoys explaining is quietly removing that friction. Some hobbies are even more subtle. Consider people who spend time online and naturally notice patterns. They see which topics keep resurfacing. They notice what kind of content gets attention, what people argue about, what people ignore, and what emotions drive engagement. To many, this just looks like scrolling. But underneath it is observation and pattern recognition. And in a world driven by information, patterns guide decisions. Whether people realize it or not, noticing patterns is a skill that shapes outcomes. Then there are people who enjoy fixing small problems. Not dramatic repairs, just everyday issues, adjusting settings, troubleshooting devices, figuring out why something stopped working. Most people don't actually hate problems. They hate uncertainty. They hate not knowing what's wrong or how long it will take to fix. Someone who enjoys solving small issues brings relief. And relief is valuable. Some people enjoy documenting life, taking photos, writing reflections, recording everyday moments, capturing details others overlook. This doesn't come from a desire to impress. It comes from noticing. In a fast-moving world, people forget easily. Memories fade.
Moments disappear.
Documentation preserves what time erases. That's why people value it. Not because it's perfect, but because it exists. What's interesting is that none of these hobbies require special permission. They don't begin with a plan to earn. They begin with curiosity, comfort, or enjoyment. The earning part only appears when the hobby crosses a simple line, from personal satisfaction to shared usefulness. This is the part many people miss. Hobbies don't earn because they're rare. They earn because they solve small, repeated problems for many people. When a small solution scales through technology, networks, or visibility, it starts to look like income. The internet didn't invent these opportunities. It just made them visible. What once helped one person in a room can now help thousands across screens. But there's an important balance here. Not every hobby needs to be monetized. And trying to extract money from everything can destroy the very thing that made it enjoyable. The healthier question isn't, how do I make money from this? It's, why do people find this valuable? That question shifts your perspective. It helps you understand value without forcing action. It allows awareness without pressure. When you start thinking this way, you stop chasing trends and start recognizing patterns. You see that income isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about noticing what you already do and understanding why it matters to others. Beyond the 9 to 5 isn't about escape. It's about awareness. Once you understand how value actually works, you start seeing opportunities hiding in plain sight. Not because you're desperate for income, but because you finally understand what people have been paying for all along.
This is Money Explained. This content is provided strictly for educational financial advice. Subscribe if you want clarity, not confusion.